Hi. So in this video I want to take a look at factorizing expressions using grouping of the terms. And this method is going to be very useful for us if we have terms in expressions that don't all have the same common factor. So if you look at the example over here, we have an expression consisting of four terms: 8ax plus 4ay minus 6bx minus 3by. And we need to factorize this expression. If you take a look at each of those terms, you'll probably notice that there is no common factor in any of those terms. But what's interesting over here is that these terms, so 8ax plus 4ay, have a common factor. So they have a is one common factor, and also number 2 is a common factor for the coefficient of those terms. And similarly, for the remaining two terms, we have b as a common factor, and also number 3 is a common factor for the coefficient. So we can do what's called grouping of the terms. We can group those terms into little pairs or trees if needed, and so on, and extract common factors from those groups. So let's do just that. I'm just going to draw my groups and start factorizing. So first things first, what I want to do is I want to take out 4a out of those two terms, because 4a is a common factor for those two terms. So that's what I would do. I would write down 4a, and inside of the bracket I took 4a out of 4ay, so I end up with just y. I'll write it in the second place. And I took out 4a out of 8ax, so I end up with 8 divided by 4 is equal to 2, and x stays in this expression. Let me just write x here, sorry. 2x. And in the other expression, I am going to take out minus 3b. Minus 3b. Inside the bracket, if I take minus 3b out of this expression, I'm going to end up with plus y. And if I take out minus 3b out of this term, I'm going to end up with plus, because minus is after coming out, so plus 2x. And I can close my bracket. Now, let's take a look at the expression on this line. I have 4a and minus 3b outside of the bracket, and 2x plus y inside of the bracket. In this case, we can treat the full bracket as a common term, which means that we can take it out of this expression. The way to do it is that you would rewrite the full bracket as so: 2x plus y, and then the other two terms, 4a and minus 3b in this case, would go into their own bracket. 4a minus 3b. And that's our expression factorized. So to factorize grouping terms, we need to identify terms, groups of terms with common factor, and then we need to take out common factors out of each group, and then we need to see how we can rewrite the resulting expression as a product of some factors. So let's look at another example here. I have 2ax minus 6ay minus 3x plus 9y. So I'm going to spread them into groups. So I have common factors over here, 2ax and minus 3x. And I also have minus 6ay and plus 9y. So if I start factorizing, I have 2ax minus 3x minus 6ay plus 9y. So if we factorize that, take out x out of this expression, so I end up with x outside of the bracket, inside 2a minus 3, and take out y out of those two terms, so plus y, let's write plus for the minute, plus y, and inside I have actually plus 3y is a better number. minus 2a, and plus 3. So we're getting close because we have two brackets over here, but we have a little problem because in the first bracket we have a minus between the two terms. In the second bracket we have a plus. So what we can do is that we can take a minus out of the bracket, so we can multiply this whole thing by minus 1, or take a minus out of the bracket. And if I do that, I would change the sign of the term in front of the bracket. So let's rewrite the first one, xa minus 3, and then minus 3y. So I have a minus in front of my bracket, which means that this minus turns into a plus, plus 2a, and this plus turns into a minus, minus 3. Now if we compare the two brackets, they both look the same, which is quite nice. And then we can take the bracket out as a common factor and rewrite it as so, 2a minus 3, and open up the second bracket, x minus 3y. And that's my resulting factorized expression. So to sum up, first of all, we have to identify groups of terms with common factors. Secondly, factorize each group by taking out highest common factor, and then factorize again. Between each group. And that's it. As far as factorization by grouping terms goes. In order to get better at this, you need to practice, so I recommend taking out your textbook and doing a number of examples. The more you practice, the better you'll get at this, and the easier it will become. If you have any questions, drop them into comments, and you can find me on Twitter as well at Mr. Oziak. Thanks for watching, and until next time.